Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video I thought I would kind of share just a few snippets of what spring has been looking like in our backyard flower farm and in the garden over the last few weeks. Spring has definitely arrived and I am back at harvesting flowers, doing orders, taking bouquets down to our local farm shop and garden centre, and there's also just so much happening in the garden that I haven't really filmed like a full vlog, like a kind of garden with me, but I filmed little bits throughout the last couple of weeks and I thought I would just piece it all together into one video. So if you are new here, my name is Robyn and I live here on the south coast of New South Wales with my partner and our 2 cats. Things are definitely picking up but also slowing down at the same time. I am currently about 7.5 months pregnant and just kind of doing what I can where I can in the garden and trying to keep nice and healthy and just get all of that good fresh air at the same time. There has been lots happening in the flower farm areas of the property, so in this video I will take you through a nice harvest of some ranunculus and also just show you a few of the bouquets that I put together for the week. And we're also trying to grow as much food as we can, so we have been really trying to get on top of sowing all of our spring and summer veggies. We've also been maintaining like all of the brassicas in the garden, the potatoes. We've got onions to plant. There's always something to do in the garden. So I hope you enjoy this video of what spring is looking like here on the south coast. I'm actually just about to head off and go and deliver some bouquets down to our local garden centre that I put together this morning. So I just put together 4 little farm posies that I will take down and share with the community. They're all very nice and colourful and bright and exactly what spring should be. But I'll rewind a few days now back to when we were harvesting some of these ranunculus and putting together another special order. And I'll probably just do some voiceovers throughout this video to kind of chat you through all of the other jobs that we're working on at the moment. So this afternoon was honestly so lovely to come out and harvest flowers again and make some bouquets. It brought me so much joy and I really love the whole process. Here I am harvesting a little bit of foliage. So this is typically one of my favorites to use. This is a lemon tea tree, Leptospermum. It smells like lemon and it lasts really long in water. Alongside this burgundy Leptospermum, they just last so well in water. I find you only need a few stems of these in a bouquet to kind of add that little whimsical look to some flowers, and they always look good with really any colour that I have. I'm also harvesting some Westringia to add to this order. It is flowering at the moment, which is super nice, but I don't want to harvest too much because I'm trying to get this to grow and kind of hedge up a little bit. And then I'm moving on to picking some status. I don't have too much in bloom at the moment, but you can see that there are quite a few stems on these plants. So over the next few weeks, I will have some more. And then going to my ranunculus row and harvesting a few of these. It's definitely getting harder to bend down and pick flowers with my bump growing, but I'm still managing to harvest a few here and there. And ranunculus are pretty easy because you don't have to continuously trim the plant back. It's really just about keeping on top of harvesting these flowers to make sure that the plants keep producing more and don't kind of die down for the season. I'm also showing here, this is the best time to harvest, in my opinion, when the flowers are kind of closed a little bit and in that marshmallow stage. They do open up over the next few days. This pink one here is probably a little bit too open, but I like to just mix a few that are fully open and some that are closed in the arrangements, just so everyone can enjoy the flowers for the maximum time. And I got a really nice harvest of ranunculus. These were all purchased from Garden Express, and I always love ordering these. It's just kind of a rainbow mix that I get, and yeah, I think the bouquet turned out really nicely. I am so happy to have flowers again. This bouquet brought me so much joy to put together this morning and just work with flowers again. I am so happy. I ended up just doing a nice rainbow bunch full of all the colours that I had to kind of kickstart this season, which I'm very happy about. The status just makes everything pop, and all of the ranunculus kind of just, they don't have to work too hard to look amazing. So I'm hoping I can keep the ranunculus going because we have a few warm days ahead, but we'll see how we go. But I'm so happy and they're so pretty. Yeah, this is really nice to put together. Another job that I have been working on is potting up all of my tomato seedlings. I like to pot these up into larger pots before I plant them out into the ground. It would be fine to plant them out right now where we are. It's getting quite warm, but these seedlings are a little bit too small and I want them to be nice and strong because we do have really strong winds around in our area. So this is typically how I like to pot them up. I will dig them out of the pot that I sowed them in and then bury them a little bit deeper, and that way the roots will be nice and strong and will kind of grow out from the stem to create an overall stronger plant. These varieties that I am potting up now are all of the larger, some of them mid-sized as well, like the Moneymaker that I'm potting up here, but a lot of them are a little bit larger. And over the next week, probably next week, I'm going to be sowing all of my cherry tomato seeds, because I like to kind of start those just a little bit later than the larger tomatoes to make sure that I can focus on getting these and having a really good start to establish growth and grow a little bit more, because they typically take a little bit longer to grow than cherry tomatoes in terms of getting a harvest. So this is just me demonstrating the little pots that I like to sow the tomato seeds in, and then that makes it really easy to prick them out and pot them up into larger pots. And then over the next few weeks, I'll be planting these out into the garden. While I haven't been planting rows and rows of flowers too much at the moment, I still am trying to keep on top of sowing some flowers and planting them here and there where I have some space. So for today, I was planting just some marigolds. These are the crackerjack marigolds, and I've never grown these before, but I am already really liking them. They were super easy to start from seed. They grew really quickly, and I think I might actually plant a whole tray or like half a row of these, because they have been really easy to work with, and I think they'll be a really strong plant to be able to withstand the winds that we get. So yeah, I'm just kind of fitting these in where I can. This was just a trial, and I think I will sow some more over the next few weeks. You'll kind of see here, these are planted next to the potatoes, and this was also where we had our compost bin. So there's going to be a lot of nutrients in the soil here over time that is just built up from all of the compost that we've been making. So I'm hoping that these like this position, because the potatoes next to them have definitely really been loving this area. And I thought I would just do a little bit of a potato update as well. They're all growing really well in pots, and I have a video all about planting these and what I did to plant them in pots and in the ground as well. But I have been hilling them up here and there, and pretty much only just doing one time of this, just adding some more soil in to hill these potatoes up. Basically what this is going to do is just ensure that any potatoes that might grow near to the surface are buried a little bit more, and that way the light isn't going to impact the potatoes, because when you have green potatoes, they're not necessarily the ones that you want to be eating. So I want to make sure that I can get as many as I can in these pots, and so far they have been growing really, really well. I have a few different varieties. This one here is Kennebec that I am hilling up, and I just use potting mix to do this. It's just a general purpose potting mix, nothing special. When I did plant the potato seeds, the seed potatoes, I added a little bit of blood and bone, and I think that's been really helping to just have these grow so healthy and look so healthy. They are nice and lush and green, so hopefully we'll get a really good harvest. These are some of the Nicola potatoes that I have in pots. These are a second early, I think, so I'll probably be harvesting these in a few weeks actually to get some new potatoes, which I'm very excited for. And we also have some Dutch cream that are planted here, and these are more of a main crop potato. We'll go through these really quickly, so we probably won't even need to store these, but they are also looking really good, and these are one of my favorite potatoes to grow. They are really delicious, and yeah, I've always had good luck with these. While we're in the cottage garden, I thought I would just do a little bit of an update of some of the other veggies that we're growing. It's definitely picking up a little bit now, which is nice to see. We have some sugar snap peas here that have all started flowering this week, so it shouldn't be too long until we get some of these. These are my favorite garden snack. They rarely make it up to the kitchen, so yeah, I'm really excited to have some of these growing in the garden. And below those I have some kohlrabi planted that is just about forming those little kohlrabi bulbs. They look very alien-like, but I love growing these. I think they're so interesting and different, and also really delicious. I was dealing with a little bit of a slug problem, you can kind of see on the leaves there, but they have since kind of left the plants alone when we've had a bit of drier weather. I would really like some rain though, so I'm hoping we get some of that over the next few days. And over in this garden I have some red acre cabbages that, again, I am really not too sure if I'm actually going to get some heads of cabbages from these, because we have had some days of 30 degrees lately, which cabbages don't necessarily love. Brassicas don't really like that in general. But I do have a David Austin rose here that is growing up, and I'm actually hoping that is going to shade some of the brassicas, which will hopefully keep the soil temperature a little bit cooler. We've also got some broccoli that is just about starting to form. Broccoli is one of my favorites to grow in the garden. I have a lot of favorites, but broccoli is definitely up there. And then behind that I actually have a patch of onions that is a little hard to see in and amongst all of the other plants. But I actually have a lot of things self-seeding, like some celery here, feverfew, snapdragons, and a lot of linaria, which is those kind of spiky ones. And there's some flowers to the left of the screen. So lots to propagate in this area. The mustard greens, or mizuna, are going to seed again. I always let these flower for the bees because they absolutely adore them, and then I get seeds from this plant as well, so I never really have to plant it. It just kind of comes up every year. And then I have a little fairy garden area here, which I have some herbs planted, and also just some greens like this ruby red silver beet. I also have a rhubarb nestled in here that is shaded from the grevillea, and also just some flowers, some leftover anemones, and I've started planting some more beetroot, which I'm having to cover up to make sure the bandicoot doesn't dig up overnight. So I have some of those planted, and I'll probably plant tomatoes behind these, so I'm leaving a space for that. And then on the other side we've got some more cabbages. I think these ones are green acre, or they could be early Jersey Wakefield. I'm not too sure because I kind of messed up with the labels, but some of these are looking a little bit more promising. Some of them were dug up by the bandicoot though, you can kind of see the mess behind there. But again, we have so much growing in here. We have lots of self-seeded dill that's popping up, which is amazing because I never really have too much luck with dill, so I'm happy that is popping up, and I will let that grow in this area. So that's pretty much what the cottage garden is looking like. I do have a lot to clean up from all of the jonquils that were planted on either sides of the pathway, but overall I am pretty happy with this space. One of the other things that I haven't been too happy about, that I know a lot of other people have been struggling with, is the wind that we've been having. The wind has really picked up and always does at this time of the year, but I have never experienced the wind like this. We've been having almost 100-kilometre-an-hour gusts, and it's been really damaging for a lot of the surrounding areas with a lot of trees down. You can see those massive gums at the back. It's just basically too dangerous to be outside gardening in these times. But then in and amongst all of the crazy winds, we are having some beautiful sunsets and sunrises. So it's a very up and down season spring here. There's a lot happening with the weather patterns, but I much prefer afternoons like this rather than the wind that we've been having. And of course, all of the acacias are flowering at the moment, which is so beautiful to see, although not great if you have hay fever. Luckily we're doing okay, but we've definitely noticed we are having a few allergies at the moment, I think with all of the wind and pollen and dust in the air. But it is super nice to see the acacias flowering really strong this year. We were having some really beautiful shows of flowers around us on the south coast. And other than that, there's so many other blooms that we're enjoying in the garden and just soaking up this season of life and beauty in the garden. So I'm really excited to continue to share how our little flower farm is growing and our cottage garden over the next few months as we transition into the warmer seasons. So I hope you're all having a lovely day. I'd love to know what's happening in your gardens wherever you are in the world. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are in the world. And until my next one, happy gardening everyone. Bye.